hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns. 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland,
Leander, and Silsbee, Texas.
or wherever you may be listening. This is a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. The Texas softball team is going to be hosting a regional. Texas baseball is limping towards the finish line. The Dallas Stars have a 2-1 series lead after a 5-2 win last night over the Winnipeg Jets. The NBA playoffs are getting tight, and the NBA lottery is right around the corner. The Saints are praying for miracles, and NFL minicamps have started, and we have a schedule release that will be happening this week, but we found a leak. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry.
Good morning, Austin.
And, of course, we've got our guy Marcus behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. And also, if you want to give yourself a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Judas Priest, that's right, Judas Priest tickets will be given to you if you leave the message and the word of the day by using that new and improved iHeartRadio app and that talkback feature, and we'll give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Judas Priest.
Judas Priest love Austin.
I mean, they got to or something. I mean, he is like,
listen, I would never leave Austin if I'm selling out every night.
Always got to make it happen, right? Got to make it happen. So let's get right into it. Texas baseball had a tough weekend. You know, we're not used to seeing this Texas baseball team come up short.
Because we spoil.
That's right. They have won a ton of series all year long. They finished their home regular season slate with a 26-5 record. They lose Friday night's game to the Florida Gators 8-2. They come back and get a victory on Saturday, but then you have the rubber match on Sunday, and for the first time, Texas does not, well, the second weekend in a row that Texas does not win the series, but it's still in first place. Texas is still standing in first place with a 20-6 record. They are 3 games ahead of Arkansas, 4 games ahead of LSU, with only 3 games left to play in the regular season. They head over to Norman this weekend and in a big-time matchup, an important matchup for the Texas Longhorns, because the most important thing right now is for them to get back on track. They have struggled. They have had runners in scoring position and not being able to drive them in. And I believe that has been the biggest struggle for this team. You can talk about the pitching and that I can see them having a little bit of fatigue. I get that. But when you start to look at the box scores and you try to break it all down, on Friday night, Texas left 10 guys on base during that run. And then on Saturday with the victory, they ended up driving in all those runs and only left 7 players on base. And then you look at what happened yesterday in their 4-1 loss, you start to look at it, you left 10 on base again. So when you're leaving that many guys on base, you're not getting an opportunity to drive in runs. It makes it a little tough for you to scratch those victories against quality teams. Let's not forget. I mean, people look
these
at
are not slouches.
exactly.
Like they're playing Arkansas and
Florida.
In Florida. Like these are teams that you always hear their names when the tournament starts.
Absolutely.
And going in right into Oklahoma, like that's as big as it gets, these last three teams. So you got to finish strong.
Yep.
And I think that these guys, for the most part, all of these series have been close and they battle back, but you can have fatigue and you can start to think, well, we'll just handle it who we run into in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you can't think ahead. You got to finish strong.
And you got to go one game at a time. And here's Coach Schlossnagle after the post game yesterday and just a little fired up.
Now, time for our post-game visit with head coach Jim Schlossnagle. Keith?
But sometimes rain delays are the worst thing in the world, and this one seemed to turn into something really positive.
Well, you got Peterson out of the game. That's a good for them. I thought Luke did a really nice job of throwing strikes and getting us off to a good start, even though they strung some hits together. I mean, if we field the ground ball, it could have been out of that inning. But I'm really proud of our guys, and it's certainly you know how it feels like when you're winning, when you're really winning, you don't feel like you can lose.
Yeah.
And then when you lose some, it's like, how are we ever going to win a game? Like it just snowballs on top of you so much. So really, I hope our guys take a lot of confidence from this and find a way to win a series tomorrow.
How about a freshman that hadn't been put in that situation? You had to go talk with him a little bit earlier in the series, and then he comes up with that kind of hit.
Well, yeah, what's great, that's his fourth at bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs in this week, right? Yeah. So he's 2 for 4. So drove in 1 run with a little infield single, and then obviously that was a huge swing in the game.
Well, congratulations. Let's go get him tomorrow.
That's right. Thanks, Keith.
And that was after Saturday's victory. Yesterday after the game, players seemed to had to come to Jesus meeting, so to speak. A lot of guys went in and spoke on it because this is kind of uncharted territory. This is uncharted territory for them to play the way that they played the last few weeks. I mean, the last 2 weeks. And it was obviously a little disappointing for them. And so they had a hey, guys, we need to get this thing turned around. They're going to get some rest because there's no midweek game this week.
Oh, wow.
They go to Oklahoma on Thursday. They play them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they will get ready to play in the SEC tournament coming up. But Texas has to win 2 games to win the regular season SEC championship. So it can be done. Did we think that Texas was going to be at this level? No, we thought they were going to be in the middle of the pack coming into the season because there was still a new team, new coaches, new roles being defined. And then you have an opportunity now to go out there and battle through this. I think that this is going to be a moment where Texas gets together, they rally, and they're solid enough to get after it. So I'm not as worried as maybe some people, because here's the biggest thing for any sport. You want to be trending in the right direction during the money time.
Yeah, and you also want to play for your coach.
Right.
For him.
Right. So you're going to, these are guys that, maybe they need to stop reading their press clippings a little bit. I'm not going to overanalyze this deal. I mean, this team has already won 40 games on the season. As I said, they are 26-5 at home, and they've had success. Let's not get it twisted. And they have experienced players, just experienced senior day yesterday, and I think that it has a lot to do with the frustration for a lot of guys, is because, you want to send your buddies out with their last regular season home game. You want to send them out with a W, and now you got to try to figure it out for the SEC tournament. The SEC tournament, well, you play Oklahoma this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the SEC tournament starts May the 20th through the 25th, and you still got to go through it. It's in Hoover, Alabama. There's a lot that still goes into that, and you want to start to set up your pitching staff. You want to make sure guys are rested enough that they can go on this long run, because I still believe Texas is going to be the host of a regional, just like the women, and we'll get into that conversation a little bit later. But you start to look at the season as a whole, where Texas is right now, and how do you get the momentum to flip back in your favor?
I think a lot of that is what you just mentioned, is focus. Like not thinking about how good the barbecue is in Hoover at Dreamland. Not thinking about your press clippings. Not thinking about, you know what, man, you mentioned you want to send your buddies. No, this is not the time to get sentimental. This is the time to focus in on what your game is and what coach is telling you to do.
Yeah, you got to lock in, be ready to go. And again, most important part is one pitch, one game at a time to make sure that you're good to go. So we'll see what ends up happening. I know that Coach Schloss is a little fired up at this particular time about his squad and what
he is.
You know, where the direction needs to be and what can they do to get things turned around. So tough weekend, but hey, you get the beautiful thing is that's how baseball go, and you get more opportunities to get a chance to
Ball
play.
don't lie.
And they get a chance to get back at it starting Thursday in Norman, Oklahoma. And what better way to get it going than going up against one of your rivals to see if you can win a SEC championship on their home field. We're just getting started here on the morning kickoff. Coming up next, we're going to talk NBA. And let me just tell you, the Indiana Pacers are fun to watch.
Amen.
And we'll talk about it right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Texas softball is heating up. Catch every pitch.
Soaring fly ball center field. Back goes Dill with a warning track to the wall. It's gone. Jolie Mitchell for the second game in a row. A round tripper, and the Longhorns up 4-1 here in the seventh inning.
As the Horns take on the SEC, search Retro Austin on the free iHeart Radio app and listen to Texas softball all season long.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Roadwork blocks off a couple left lanes on I-35 southbound at Highway 79, causing a 45-minute backup from Westinghouse. There's a stalled vehicle in the right lane on the upper deck of I-35 southbound at 38.5 Street, as well as an accident being worked on at FM 973 and FM 969. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bosch. With the Bosch 18-volt Glide Miter Saw, you'll feel like the smoothest cat on this side of Smoothville. Meow. And when you make cuts this smooth, get the Bosch 18-volt Glide Miter Saw. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Whether you suffer a motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, or any other unforeseen mishap, recovering from a serious injury, loss of income, or personal property is inevitably your number one goal. At DJC Law, your recovery is always their number one goal. They're real people who help real people fight for the rights and compensation they deserve. Navigating the legal aftermath from an accident can be overwhelming, and DJC Law has over 25 years of experience negotiating with insurance companies to maximize the value of the claim and protect the victim's rights. Call DJC Law at 512-888-9999 for a free no-risk consultation. They can meet you in their office, at your home, or in the hospital, and you pay nothing unless they win. Call 512-888-9999. If you're injured in an accident, don't settle. Call 512-888-9999 and get your justice. TeamJustice.com. DJC Law Principal Office in Austin, Texas.
Spurs Sports Academy summer camps are back now in San Antonio and Austin, June through August. Choose from a variety of camps for boys and girls of all ages and skill levels. Get elite training, court time, custom awards, and appearances by Spurs players and more. Lock in your spot now at spurs.com/summer camps.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are reigning. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
If you're in the market for a wood fence for your home or business, Viking Fence is the right choice for you. Viking Fence has been in business for over 50 years and takes pride in being the most reliable fence company in Central Texas. Viking Fence does gorgeous work, from simple privacy fences to custom projects. Their quality is unmatched. Viking is the only fence company with their own facility where they custom cut red cedar, the most durable and attractive of fence materials, and offer 3 grades of fence pickets, one for every budget. Compare their lumber against the big box stores. And there is no comparison on quality and price. So whether Viking installs your fence or you're doing it yourself, Viking Fence will ensure your satisfaction. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 for a free estimate or visit their wood fence galleries at vikingfence.com. When you think fence, think Viking.
Made for This Mountain exists to empower listeners to rise above their struggles and face the mountain in front of them. So during Mental Health Awareness Month, focus on your emotional well-being. Tune into the podcast and climb that mountain.
You will never be able to change or grow through the thing that you refuse to identify. The thing that you refuse to say, hey, this is my mountain. This is the struggle.
Listen to Made for This Mountain on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Made for This Mountain.
Texas baseball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
In the next segment, I'm going to give my thoughts on Texas baseball and the expectations of one young man named Jonah Williams, because there was a little dust up on Friday night that kind of carried over a little bit, and people all have an opinion, and I'm going to give mine about it. So we'll talk about it coming up. But right now, I want to talk NBA. The NBA in the playoffs has been nothing short of fantastic. It has been so up and down. The games have been so intense and coming down to the wire, and pretty much almost every one of them. Not all of them.
Even the blowouts have been interesting.
No doubt. No doubt.
Breaking records of all-time scoring, like, it's just been ridiculous.
On Friday night, we left after Friday's show. They went out and played on Friday night, and the Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Indiana Pacers to make it 2-1, 126-104. Donovan Mitchell was playing out of his mind. He ended up with 43 points. That night matchup was OKC and Denver wins that game in overtime, and that makes the series 2-1. But you also had on Saturday, the Boston Celtics went to New York, and everybody thought it was over for Boston because of the way that they were playing. And at one point, they were 25 for 100 in three-point shots. 25 for 100 in three-point shots. and everybody thought they were done. Well, they go to New York and handle their business 115-93 on Saturday. And then Saturday night, Minnesota comes back and beats Golden State. Jimmy Butler disappeared. He led with 33 points, but during crunch time, they didn't give him the basketball.
Well, that was Draymond Green that disappeared.
Well, they didn't give him
2
the basketball. There was like 5 possessions in a row that we were sitting there watching. Is like, why does Jimmy not have the ball in his hand?
Right.
Everybody else is taking shots but Jimmy Butler, and they end up losing the game 102-97. And then you had yesterday OKC versus Denver. OKC evens the series 92-87 victory yesterday against the Denver Nuggets on the road, mind you. On the road. These road teams are getting the victories night in and night out.
At an unusual clip from years past.
Absolutely. And then you got last night, the home team actually wins the ball game as the Indiana Pacers behind Pascal Siakam. He had 21 points. They kept feeding him the ball. Darius Garland was the leading scorer for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But once again, they take a 3-1 lead with Indiana going 129-109. And here's the end of that ballgame.
At every opportunity. Siakam high post. Struce. Beautiful drop step. And it's all Pacers. Neesmith wanted to foul against Garland, which would have been his second. Turner, Toppin coming backdoor. And they have now 3 turnovers, GA, the last 4 trips.
Yeah, 5 in the first quarter. Even DeAndre Hunter.
Miles Turner lays the layup from deep. The Cavs are 3 of 10 from the field, and they're 2 of 7 so far from deep. Halliburton probing, Toppin, corner 3, scores! But they have done everything they can handle from this Pacers defense. Shot clock down to 4. Siakam crosses over Wade, fires, and hits again.
Now they've got the Cavs rattled.
Here comes Siakam, stops on a dime, and he's starting to cook. And this thing is quick. Still got plenty of time to shoot. Siakam to Toppin. They are toying with Cleveland. Taps it to the backcourt. The official said it was deflection. So Indiana maintains position. Toppin, a magic trick.
And they just continued to beat them down throughout that matchup. But my question now is, the story has now been out that Donovan Mitchell is now dealing with an injury, and they're not sure if he's going to be able to play. And their coach, Mr. Atkinson, who was just named Coach of the Year in the NBA, now has to talk about his injured star.
What can you tell us about Donovan? Left ankle injury. He'll get a MRI tomorrow.
So obviously there's just not much more you can say as far as availability.
I mean, no idea. I mean, obviously couldn't go in the second half. So see what the MRI says.
Well, they're not going to have to take him out back and shoot him or nothing. Damn. His brother is like, his ankle.
I don't know what
we don't know what we're going to do. But I'm going to tell you, I'm glad that the NyQuil wore off of JT Toppin.
Yeah.
Because Toppin been asleep this whole series, and he woke up last night.
Yeah.
I was like, do you see the underneath the basket play he did?
He looked like Dr. J.
Holy cow. Like, where has that been?
Yeah, he looked like Dr. J on that play. And as I saw it, I said it. I was like, that looks just like what Dr. J did.
Yeah. And the inconsistency is the thing that everybody always said, even in the draft. One night you'll get an all-star, and then the next night you get a bench player.
Right.
So somebody's gonna have to keep him awake. If they can keep him awake, they can win this. Not only will they win this series, but they can win it all. Because then now you have 4 guys. Pascal Siakam is a dog. Miles Turner's playing out of his mind.
Yep.
But he's playing out of his mind because of what Tyrese Halliburton is doing to the defense.
So you're going to talk about that in your world's strongest take.
Yeah, man, I'm going to stop. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, this team is dangerous, and Toppin is the answer. If he can stay awake.
X factor.
He's the X factor.
Stay awake.
You got to stay awake, man.
He can stay awake. Well, you also look at what's going on in Denver. That series is now tied 2-2. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was able to get off on yesterday, but the Joker, what is going to happen? Because the Joker now is becoming the turnover king. He's been turning the ball over quite a bit lately.
You didn't hear it, did you?
What happened?
It was like, bing! His check engine light came on.
Oh, that's what happened?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like the guys, he's logging in these 40 minutes a game.
Yep, 43
for
this
all
last
of
time.
these games.
Yep.
He is a big guy, Hardge, and they are overusing him just like Dennis Mitchell. If you're not careful,
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah.
If you're not careful, you're going to get the same thing.
Yeah, it's just very interesting to me when you start to look at how are you going to continue to make this run. Everybody needs to step up. I mean, Aaron Gordon, he's been playing 38 minutes a game. You got Joker, Murray, and Christian Brown all playing over 40 minutes in the ball game. Russ is being consistent with his 27 minutes, but the difference in the game yesterday was, I feel, they didn't get what they normally get from Russ. Russ didn't have his best game yesterday. He was 2 of 12 from the field and 2 of 9 from three-point land.
I could do that.
So, I mean, those are the types of things that as you look at Russ and the expectations, I think he's going to come back because that's who he is. He was trying to get the team fired up, ended up fouling out of the game. It was an emotional day during that time. But you start to look at all of these matchups, and you got great series after great series that is happening. The only one that we can honestly say is not going to be great is the team that had the best record in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers, not going to be able to advance.
No.
That's the disappointing part.
I'm going to tell you the secret with Russ. Before the game, somebody needs to walk up and just slap him real hard. He got that power lifter type mentality. Like the more the fired up he gets, the better he plays. And he always starts like he's going to the library. Like, light him up.
Well, yeah. It don't take much to get that brother
Light
going.
him up.
It don't take that much to get him going.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Coming up next, I'm going to take care of this situation with a young player who plays with emotion and how the fans just seem to think they know everything. We'll talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
A crash blocks off the exit ramp on 183 southbound off to Duval Road. Some relief for drivers on I-35 southbound. Construction cones have been picked up at Highway 79, but in the backup of this construction zone, a stalled vehicle blocks off the left lane on I-35 southbound at FM 1431. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
0628.
No power? No problem. With a whole home backup generator from Abacus. Abacus offers professional Generac installation with extended warranties, financing, and now certified Generac maintenance plans. Abacus, you can count on us.
Graduation caps are fixing to be flying and summer plans are heating up. So why not kick it all off with a brand new Chevy from Covert Hutto? Check out deals like $12,250 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST, $4,000 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Tahoe Premier, and $4,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Equinox LT. See dealer for details. Covert has been family owned since 1909 because trust, value, and Texas pride never go out of style. CovertChevyHutto.com. Together, let's drive.
You want to see basketball played the way it's supposed to be? Well, check out Ice Cube's Big Three all summer long. Fast, physical, and fun. Catch the best professional 3-on-3 players in the world live every weekend on CBS and Vice.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from OwnWell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary.
When I saw how high my property tax bill was, I was shocked. We couldn't afford this, but I discovered OwnWell. OwnWell reduced my property taxes and saved me over $1,000.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be protested and they can be reduced. But instead of filing protests yourself and very possibly losing your appeal, OwnWell does it all for you. But hurry, protest deadlines end this week. OwnWell has reduced property taxes for hundreds of thousands of Texans and put money back in their pocket, and you can be one of them. And unlike other companies that take half of whatever you save, OwnWell charges just 25%. And that's only if you save.
Now I don't worry about my property taxes. OwnWell reduces it every year.
Sign up now, free. Don't pay unless you save. But hurry, protest deadlines end this week. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000.
It's no surprise that people love their pets. In fact, 97% of pet owners consider them part of the family. Amazon's Jen Ray has more.
Amazon Pet Day makes caring for your pets easier than ever. The 48-hour sales event features thousands of deals with the convenience of Amazon's fast delivery. Whether you're welcoming a new puppy, upgrading essentials for a senior pet, or looking for products that pamper, there's something for everyone.
Nearly 2/3 of U.S. households have a pet. That's 86.9 million homes.
With so many households having pets, Amazon has something for every pet owner and their furry friends, from trusted basics to exciting new favorites across price points. Plus, Amazon is expanding its pet care offerings, now providing prescription pet medications on Amazon.com through VetSource, a leading pet pharmacy.
On May 13th and 14th, Amazon Pet Day will offer incredible deals, including on our most popular and pet-approved brands like Purina Pro Plan, Iams, PetSafe, O'Norman, Ring, and more. Learn more at Amazon.com/petday.
The Cowboys will face the Super Bowl champion Eagles September 4th in Philly to kick off the regular season. NBA Draft Lottery tonight, Spurs have a 6.7% chance of landing the top pick. Astros shut out the Reds, take 2 of 3 in Houston. Texas are in the 6th seed in the NCAA softball tournament. Will host Eastern Illinois on Friday. I'm Rhonda Moss.
This is Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Cordell & Cordell.
Cordell & Cordell, Divorce and Family Law, 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on. CordellCordell.com.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's Painful Concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
1300 The Zone and the Round Rock Express. That's a double play.
Okay. The Texas baseball team is going through some struggles. We get that. But what do you need sometimes? You need to get fired up. My man Mark Henry was just talking about it a second ago.
Let's go.
He was talking about if he was standing next to Russ, he would get Russ fired up. I will get him going at any moment. I love it. I love it. Every once in a while, you need that spark plug. Well, on Friday night, Texas was down 7-1. Jonah Williams, the young freshman, comes up, and he gets a little fired up. And if you've been watching him play all year long, he does the exact same thing after every pitch, every at-bat is just who he is. So let me paint the scene for you for those that do not know.
Come on, paint it.
Texas is losing 7-1. Jonah comes up to the plate, and after each pitch, he's hyping himself up. He's hyping his team up. This team needed a spark. He tried to spark the team. And he pounded his chest. But he does it every at-bat. If you pay attention, he takes a pitch. He shakes his head. Yes or no. Ball's in the dirt. I didn't swing at it. I'm locked. Because a person doesn't do things the way you would do it, doesn't make it right and doesn't make it wrong. It's just not what you would do as an individual.
Okay.
Let's not forget, this is a 17-year-old kid who is playing college baseball for, at the time, the #1 ranked team in the country. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to learn from them. He's going to get better from them. But the internet, which is an awful place at times, finds a way to try to downgrade, try to talk trash about the kid, try to say certain things that you wouldn't say to his face, number one, because even at 17, you do not want the smoke from this young man.
No.
The thing about it is, if you've been in a locker room with some guys like that, you teach, you learn, you figure it out. But his motive wasn't to try to show up the pitcher. His motive was to try to fire up his team, who has been struggling. So when you get emotional about it, know the person first. If you've watched him, if you spent time with him, you saw there's not a person in that dugout that wouldn't have came out of that dugout for him, because he's very encouraging. He backs his teammates, and he would go to war for his teammates. So on Saturday, after all the dust had settled, everybody's like, what's going to happen on Sunday? He has already struck out, and so everybody's like, look at the clown, look at the clown. You couldn't be him. You couldn't be him. You're not good enough to be him. So the old school ways of doing things are not today's athlete. So don't worry about that. So he goes up, comes up with the bases loaded again, and he just kind of fires up his team.
There's the 1-1. Swung on, line drive into left center field, and that ball is down. It will go to the warning track. The bases will clear. Jonah Williams, a 3-run double, and the Longhorns take a 5-2 lead.
Texas goes on to win that ball game, and he was a major contributor. So after the game, Coach Schlossnagle was asked about Jonah and who he is as a person.
He's just super, super positive and always encouraging and vocal, but not in a corny way. Just he wants to win so bad, and I think he brings a lot to our team where that's pretty refreshing, to have a guy that competitive and communicating with the dugout, and you see him look in the dugout. He's like, "Come on, boys, get behind me, and then they're doing the same thing to him, and he does it to them, and he's just such a special human being. Obviously, he's physically talented, but just having that belief, he struck out the at bat before, right, and then comes up. his 4th bases loaded at bat with 2 outs this week. Had 3 of them on Tuesday night and got 1 little infield single, and then gets the big hit today. So it says a lot about who he is and who his parents are.
You see what I'm saying?
Leave the boy alone.
See what I'm saying?
Let him grow. He's going to mature too. He's going to realize that there's a time and a place for
absolutely
all of that energy, and you want to conserve that. You want to bottle it up.
He's 17 years old.
Shake the bottle.
He's 17 years old, where he should be playing high school baseball right now. He just laced the bases clearing double off of an older pitcher.
Yeah. 17 years old.
17 years old. And
I
let's not
wish
forget,
that he had Dr. Terry Todd. Like, Dr. Todd was that way with me.
And let's not forget, he's going to be on the football team.
That way you don't bottle him up.
You let him play. Sark, after all the stuff that happened, Texas baseball, he gets a double. He gets on second base. He's all pumped up. Coach, and they post swagger. And Coach Sark tweeted that, be at your best when your best is needed. Understand what it is all about.
Coach Sark is becoming like Confucius.
This dude is locked in. This is one hell of an athlete. When I was 17 years old, I was still in high school, and I was striking out often.
And he's hitting college
He's
stars.
hitting college pitching and playing left field every day. So miss me with your he knows better. No, he doesn't. He's learning. So when it was happening, Coach Schlossnagle came out, talked to him. His teammates were standing on the front step and was ready to go. So to me, he's done everything he's supposed to do in that locker room. He could give a damn what you think about him. And Coach Schlossnagle has his back. His teammates have his back.
Wow.
And so does a lot of those fans that understand what he was trying to do. And if you go to the baseball games and not just be somebody that is watching it or catch it because
clips.
You're hearing the clips or whatever, and understand he did nothing different than what he always does.
Never
at
tried
the
to
plate.
show the picture up at all.
He's just like, I'm locked in at this at bat. And it's been like that since day one.
Come on, Hardge.
Just understand, man. This dude's a kid. And he's learning at the highest level quickly. So calm your little holier than thou. That's not how you played the game. In case you hadn't noticed, the game has been played a little bit different. Yeah, there's still respect that needs to be there, but you got to respect what he was trying to do as a 17-year-old outfielder. Man, miss me with your nonsense. Coming up next, we're going to close out now hour number 1. Texas softball. They are hosting, and we'll talk all about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
On 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
A crash blocks off the exit ramp on 183 southbound off to Duval Road. Some relief for drivers on I-35 southbound. Construction cones have been picked up at Highway 79, but in the backup of this construction zone, a stalled vehicle blocks off the left lane on I-35 southbound at FM 1431. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green. Summer is better with True Green. Get the best lawn at the best price. For a limited time, get 75% off your first treatment. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com today and let the pros handle the work while you enjoy the results. Restrictions apply.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you,
Cheers to savings.
Host your group at a Round Rock Express game with VIP suites, party areas, and more. Make your next event unforgettable with premium hospitality options at Del Diamond. From corporate outings to birthday parties, we have the perfect space for you. Visit RoundRockExpress.com for more information.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are ending. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
I want you to ask yourself right now, how am I actually doing? Because it's a question that we rarely ask ourselves. All of May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and on the psychology of your 20s, we are taking a vulnerable look at why mental health is so hard to talk about. Prepare for our conversations to go deep.
I spent the majority of my teenage years and my 20s just feeling absolutely terrified.
So this Mental Health Awareness Month, open the free iHeartRadio app, search the psychology of your 20s, and listen now.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horn. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio Did You Know? Presented by iHeartRadio. You know, what you're listening to right now. Did you know that iHeartRadio not only lets you listen to all your favorite AM/FM stations locally and nationwide for free, but iHeartRadio also has a team of people who are as passionate about music as you, working round the clock to hand curate playlists perfect for any mood or activity. We know the right soundtrack can help set the mood, change your mood, or enhance any activity. And that's why we have thousands of playlists tuned to fit any situation. The best part, you can listen to all your playlists for free. Tap the playlist tab in the iHeartRadio app and explore playlists to help you get in the zone while working out or chill when it's time to wind down. Playlists for a party, sleeping, cooking, gaming, or road tripping. Playlists curated with the best hits from every decade and playlists with the biggest hits from every genre. Tap the playlist tab and discover all the playlists available to you free from iHeartRadio. #1 for music, radio, and podcasting. All in one app.
iHeartRadio.
Back to Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Now is your chance to sign up to get a pair of tickets. All you got to do to go see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest October the 25th at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. All you got to do is get over to iHeartRadio, look for AM 1300 The Zone, tap that red microphone and leave the message heavy. Heavy is the message, the word of the day. So make sure you go over there and do that to get a pair of tickets to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest October the 25th at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. Texas softball has an opportunity to extend its season. That's right, folks. Texas softball came up short in the SEC tournament. on Friday, eventually losing in that matchup against the number one overall seed now, the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. They are the number one overall squad. Texas gets the 6th seed, and they will be hosting this weekend. I mean, not this, well, yeah, I think it is this weekend, in a big-time matchup that will be featuring Texas, UCF, University of Michigan, and Eastern Illinois.
At McCombsville.
Texas softball excited once they found out that they would be hosting. And of course, it has been a great season for this softball team. That they had 7 ladies get SEC, all SEC honors, and it is exciting time. Reese Atwood, Tegan Cavan, Mia Scott, and Jolie Mitchell are all selected, all SEC first team, making Texas the only program with 4 first-team selections. Caden Henry, Ashton Maloney, and Katie Stewart were appointed to the second team, tying the Longhorns with Arkansas, LSU, and Texas A&M with the most on the second team. Additionally, Reese Atwood, and Maloney were both named to the SEC All-Defensive Team. Mia Scott obviously was named to the first team. In her 4-year career, she has earned pretty much every award that you could have. In 2022, she was all Big 12 second team. 23-24, she was all Big 12 first team. And then this year, she was all SEC first team. Atwood and Maloney, this is their 3rd consecutive all-conference honor, including Big 12's second team in 2023 and 2024. They were all first team. Tegan Cavan is the first Longhorn student athlete since Janae Jefferson to earn first-team honors during her freshman and sophomore seasons on the 40 acres. So it's an exciting time for Texas softball as they get ready to chase their dream of playing for the College World Series. Again, as I said, you look at what Texas A&M has been able to do in the SEC. They continue to find ways to get things done, and they've been rewarded for it. They go out and win the tournament, and now they're the number one overall seed. You look at what Texas A&M has been able to do, and it has been something that's pretty doggone cool. Obviously, we get caught up with our Texas Longhorns storylines, and it is a Longhorns Monday, but you got to give some love where love is due, and Texas A&M has done an unbelievable job of being able to get that done. As far, as far as the softball games that will be taking place this weekend, you look at what Texas is able to do. They will start on Friday. They will play the second game but against Eastern Illinois. The first game will tip off at 1 p.m. Central Time as Michigan, who is number 3 and a 38-19 record, will take on the number 2 seed in this tournament, 33-22-1 UCF. Texas will take on Eastern Illinois, who got the 4 seed. That is, they are 34-20. That game will take place at 3:30 on ESPN Plus network. Saturdays, that will all be determined on how the games will be figured out as far as which regionals will be going on that way. Whoever wins this Austin regional will face the winner of the Clemson regional. Clemson will be hosting their regional as well this weekend. So a lot is going on for this Texas team and this Texas athletic program. It is important to understand that, yes, they too are struggling a little bit. This Texas softball team is struggling going into the playoffs only because of the fact that they got beat by Texas A&M pretty handily in the tournament, as Texas A&M run ruled them 14 2 in the final game after they won a walk-off. That Texas won the walk-off game against Ole Miss. So it is going to be a fun time. Coach Mike White, obviously excited about his team's chances and what is expected of them. I, too, am excited for this because once the season gets to this point, it is one of those things that you look at and you say, okay, this is what you work for. All the other stuff that has gone in, that's just part of it. But to be named part of the teams that get a chance to host, that is really, really good for this team. And he was asked, does the SEC having 7 of the top 8 seeds validate how tough this league is? And his quote is, I think so, without a doubt. There are still a lot of excellent teams throughout the top 16, but there are great matchups that will be going on all over the country because the level of softball play continues to increase, which is great for the sport. But we are excited to be ranked number 6 right now, and it is time. This is about to be the tough part because it is, you got to win to continue to keep going. And Eastern Illinois is going to be the first team that we play. So we have to look out for them. We have to start playing our best softball now that the postseason has started. And that is the thing that I continue to talk about because of Texas baseball, who as of right now, Baseball America moved them from number 1 to the number 6 ranked team in the nation as they head into their final week of the season before going into the SEC tournament. But it's important for them to be focused and ready to go. It doesn't matter for softball. It doesn't matter what happened last weekend on Friday night. It's what's going to happen this Friday night moving forward because you don't want to get behind. And now the rest of that the pitchers need can happen right now. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. We will talk NFL because there has been a schedule leak and the New Orleans Saints. What in the wide world of sports were you thinking about during your draft? And now you got to figure it out now. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on the Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Discover the true taste of Texas at Mom's Food, Smokehouse, and Delicatessen, where everything is handcrafted in-house, from the mustard to the bacon. Proudly featured in the inaugural Michelin Guide of Texas, they source the finest products from local producers. Visit us at 5811 Manor Road, Austin, Texas, or find them at your favorite farmer's market. Pre-order their barbecue today. Don't you keep the best delicatessen in Austin a secret. Tell them Mark Henry sent you.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Who owns the summer? Big Three. Who's got the hottest professional 3-on-3 basketball league of the summer? Ice Cube's Big Three. It's summer in the city. Big Three's back. Tune in to CBS and Vice all summer long. That's right. Ice Cube's Big Three. The best 3-on-3 basketball league in the world. Don't miss the incredible showdown. Playing the game like it's meant to be played. With your favorite Big Three players like Dwight Howard, Michael Beast, Jordan Crawford, Gerald Green, Kemba Walker, Jason Richardson, ISO Joe Johnson, Montrezl Harrell, and many more. You'll also see the legendary and Hall of Fame coaches like Michael Cooper, Calvin Murphy, Steven Jackson, Nick Young, Nancy Lieberman, and Julius Dr. J. Irving, George the Iceman Gervin, and the 2024 Big Three champion Gary Payton. Fire up the grill and bring in the family. It's Big Three, baby. Summer in the city. And we got a special halftime musical guest. Tune in to CBS Advice all summer long. Oh, yay, yay.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And at retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns. 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We talked about the Texas baseball team coming up short. We talked NBA, and wow, has it been fantastic. And of course, we gave you my take on the Jonah Williams situation, and Texas softball has now been named as a host spot for the regional. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is WWE Hall of Famer, the Mark Henry. And of course, we have our guy Marcus behind the boards. And I wanted to get into this because the NFL has done some things unorthodox, as always.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they always are getting ready. This week will be the NFL schedule release. We have that is coming up. And that is always the story. And we'll get into that in just a second. But right now, I want to talk New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints with a brand new head coach, Kellen Moore, as the new head coach. They got some news yesterday that one of their favorites, Derek Carr, quarterback, has decided to step away from the game.
Hang him up.
And go in a different direction. And here's some of that sound.
How did he come to this decision?
Yeah, Hannah, really for the last 5 to 6 weeks, the Saints and Derek Carr have been trying to figure out what's best and how to proceed with this shoulder issue, which tests revealed, as the Saints just said, a labral tear and degenerative damage to his rotator cuff, potentially. So these are major issues. You imagine trying to throw on that. So really before then, the feeling was like, hey, we restructured his contract. We can move forward with Derek Carr, even though there was some talk about a potential trade at one point. That never happened. So it seemed at one point in the offseason he was going to be the quarterback in 2025. So really when he started throwing again, then he felt the issue, talked to the Saints, reported it. They tried to shake this out. You know, I think the Saints in a perfect world hoped that he could maybe rehab to health. It just seems like that was not in the cards. So after 11 seasons, he is retired.
Okay. Now, this is something that he's talked about. This is something that he brought to everybody's attention.
They knew about it.
This is not news.
Why the trade didn't work.
And this is why when you pass on certain guys, you put yourself in this conundrum, so to speak, to where you boy figured it out. But you look at how this has gone down, and you go in and you draft Tyler Shuck, another guy that has a history of injury. You draft him in the second round. Now, I'm not saying Shador. I'm not saying that. But there were other quarterbacks that were better than Tyler Shuck in college. Now, you can say, you could have went and got Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
You could have went and got Jackson Dart.
Dylan Gabriel was better.
Supposedly.
Quinn Ewers was better.
Supposedly. So now you go into the season with Tyler Shuck as your second round pick. You got second-year quarterback Spencer Rattler.
Rotten.
You got third-year quarterback Jake Haener.
Who?
Yeah, exactly, from Fresno State. So here's the other part to me. Your history, you got a new coach in Kellen Moore. But the New Orleans Saints last season, and this goes to you, Davis, your team was 0-7 when he didn't start the game. Therefore, if I'm Cam Jordan, if I'm a vet on this squad, do you honestly believe that your team is going to play well?
Or go anywhere? And you've dedicated your life to that team, and you could have made a move elsewhere, but we got a quarterback, we good.
Yeah.
Not so fast. Hardge, I really feel like that the Saints, they kissed the baby. It's over.
Well,
Their season is over before they even get to training camp.
And all the conversation has been, well, Arch Manning's going to be ready to go. And
what says he's even going to come out of the draft next season?
Thank you. Thank you.
While you tanking, see, you know what? This is, now I see it. They knew. They're like, we'll make this announcement, and then we'll make it right before we're able to get to training camp, and we'll go into it like, well, we're stuck like this. They knew. And listen, man, we underestimate the strength and intellect of some of these general managers. These guys get paid to know. Your job is to know who's hurt. What's the schedule on that return? What can we trade? How much does it cost? They know everything. Whether they do it or not, that's something altogether different.
All right, so looking at the NFC South, you have Atlanta. You have Atlanta with Michael Penix Jr. Kirk Cousins is still hanging out there right now. He's still hanging out there. You got Carolina, who got better as the season went on last year, and Bryce Young finally looked like Bryce Young by the end of the season. You have Tampa. You got Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans.
You're going to win games.
So you are in a division that's already tough. And now you're telling me you're going into it with a rookie quarterback who hasn't shown to be healthy, and you passed on other guys. Not saying they would have been the saviors, but you passed on an opportunity to have some different type of people. If Jackson Dart, who everybody seemed to fall in love with,
include me,
it looked like he got better after the season. Like, wasn't no games being played, but all of a sudden, Jackson Dart was the guy. Listen, I'm not talking about for you because you were
I was with him in the season.
You was with him in the season, so I'll give you that. But all of a sudden, Jackson Dart rocking it up. Oh, he had all these great workouts. And I'm like, did you see what he did in all them other games when he was playing against teams that were really good? What do you think is going to be like in the NFL? These teams are really good.
I'm going to make an excuse. I'm going to make an excuse for him.
Okay.
Jackson Dart had talent around him, but that after that first wave, you know who Jackson Dart is? Cleveland. Without Donovan Mitchell, they just another team.
So he had an NFL head coach. I mean, he had an NFL play caller.
Right.
Lane Kiffin was an NFL play caller.
and he had one level of defense and offense. Anybody get hurt, anybody, the trainer call in sick, they're going to lose that game.
Well, they are in an awful, awful spot. If you're a New Orleans fan, I don't understand how you can honestly sit there and be, number one, be excited about your season.
Tank it for Tua.
But here's the thing.
And Tua not even going to be there.
Exactly.
Not if he's smart.
You are putting you're putting all your eggs in this basket for this Arch Manning situation.
Oh, I'm coming back next year.
Exactly. And you're going to be looking
I'm not going to New Orleans.
But it goes to your point. You know, those people on the inside, they think they know. No, you don't. You don't.
They don't know these Mannings.
And then again, here's the other part of it. You're putting the trust of the franchise on a kid that had 1 year of college football? Huh?
Wow.
Just because of his last name? And no disrespect to the Mannings. We all know how great they are. But the reality of the situation is just like these Texas fans that automatically believe that Texas is about to win a national championship because Arch Manning is the starting quarterback. No, there's more to it than just Arch Manning.
Yeah. Preach. And Hardge, like, do they know who they messing with? When you mention the Mannings, they will collectively say, no, we're not going there.
Right.
No, not without this coach being there, this offensive coordinator being there. And you know what? If you're going to tank, move all your pieces around this year. And we need an offensive line. Don't you think about drafting my grandson, my nephew, my son to a situation where he's going to be David Carr.
Well, here's this. You have your offensive line is Kelvin Banks, which we'll hear from in just a minute. Dylan Randuns, who was undrafted out of Tennessee. You have Cesar Ruiz, who was drafted in 2020. You got Eric McCoy. You got Talise Fuga as your offensive lineman, but you also have Trevor Penning, who was a first-round pick. You have some pieces there, but they're not
2 out of 5.
Exactly.
I need 5 out of 5.
Exactly.
And a backup.
So you start to look at this and you're like, okay, so what are we doing? What are you guys going to do with Alvin Kamara as a running back, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, who they drafted from Kansas, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and again, your quarterbacks going into the season are Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, and Jake Hayner. Now, the conversation is this, and we'll continue this conversation on the other side because I got some NFL news, notes, and nuggets, and we'll hear from some other players, former Texas players. But my question to you is, if I'm New Orleans, do I try to sneak in with Aaron Rodgers? Ooh, let's talk about it right here. Hey, look, it's heating up. It's going to continue to heat up. There's a news story that is out. I told you, NFL will release the schedule on the 14th, I believe it is, Thursday. But guess what? There has been a leak, and we might know who's playing game 1 against the Super Bowl champs. And we'll talk about it right next, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. Football, Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, FUN. That's FUN. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Reports of an accident going southbound on I-35 around Grand Avenue Parkway cause about a 5-minute delay starting from Highway 45. There's also a crash in the left lane on 290 westbound at Mopac and some stop-and-go traffic causing about a 15-minute delay I-35 northbound between Onion Creek Parkway and William Cannon. I'm Jason Fossley with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bosch. With the Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer, you can conquer your construction needs, and you can powerfully break through concrete. Get the Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy to walk, energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again, just like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are reigning. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit FredLoya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Spurs Sports Academy summer camps are back now in San Antonio and Austin, June through August. Choose from a variety of camps for boys and girls of all ages and skill levels. Get elite training, court time, custom awards, and appearances by Spurs players and more. Lock in your spot now at spurs.com/summer camps.
When you partner with CDW, your people get more out of technology. CDW AI architects deliver Microsoft services to automate tasks and boost productivity, helping sales reps connect with more customers. Remote teams collaborate seamlessly, and small businesses compete at scale. That's amazing. Make amazing happen. Microsoft and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/modernwork.
Football fans, the countdown is on. The rookies are ready, the matchups are heating up, and it's time to plan your game day. TickPick has you covered with no hidden fees and the lowest price guarantee. So whether you're heading to a rivalry game or just want a weekend experience, you'll pay less and get more. TickPick gives you all-in-one pricing and the lowest price guarantee. They're so confident, they back it up with their best price guarantee. Visit TickPick.com and score your seats before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TickPick app.
Summer's just around the corner. You remember summer? Hot, sticky, and almost unbearable. That's the one. It was brutal. This is Nolan Ryan. Be ready for another Texas scorcher with American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. American Standard Air. Clean, efficient, and dependable. Nothing better for your hill country home. Invest in your family's comfort. Take my word. Why fry? AmericanStandardAir.com. Comfort the way you like it.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $1,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
It's the Craig Way Show with Craig Way and Cameron Parker. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Welcome back to the Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. In the next segment, you will hear the world's strongest take, brought to you by the world's strongest man. That
That's
will
right.
take place at 8:34. Then we'll close out the show with Dan Patrick. But right now, I want to talk NFL and rookies. As I told you when we went to break, a conversation about the NFL champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. And we all know that season after season, if you're the champion, you get a chance to open up the season on that Thursday night. And rumors have it that the schedule has been leaked. And guess who the Philadelphia Eagles will take advantage of? Yeah, they will. They will be taking on
The Dallas Cowboys.
the Dallas Cowboys.
Son of a gun.
That's how you get the party started to kick off the NFL season. The Dallas Cowboys rubbing it in the Cowboys' face. The Philadelphia Eagles will be presented with their championships rings, their Super Bowl rings, and a banner will be dropped down right in front of their face. Let me just tell you something.
That makes me so nauseous.
But the NFL knows what it's doing.
They know what they're
They
doing.
know exactly what it's doing. Must-see TV. And it's the NFC champs. It is the Super Bowl champs. And they will be taking on the Dallas Cowboys in game 1 of the regular season on September the 4th per sources. Now, obviously, that is must-see TV. That is a divisional game. That is everything that you want it to be.
Why not the Commanders?
That's even, but
that would have been better.
No. It's Cowboys
Just
Thursday night.
just put two studs against each other right off the bat.
Well, they expect that to be happening when you sit back and you think about how this all goes down. Well, now we know Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, everybody involved in it. Now you have the Cowboys with Pickens. You have the running backs by committee right now. You start to look and see what they're going to do with the defense.
I see what you're saying. What you're saying. The
you gonna learn a
Cowboys
lot.
are kind of an enigma when it comes to knowing what you're going to get. And to put them right off the bat against El Numero Uno, Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
That's must-watch TV.
And that is why the NFL is always on point. If it had been AFC, if it had been Kansas City, they would have probably played Buffalo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That would have been the opening night game for the NFL.
But doesn't it help to be good, though? Because the Cowboys have, for the last 30 years, kind of really skated by on the fact that this whole America's team thing.
America's team versus the Super Bowl champs. So which one you
Well, I
want
mean,
to
it's
be?
a title.
No, which one you want to be?
I want to be a champion.
Exactly. I don't care nothing about being America's team because who came up with that moniker and people are laughing at it now?
Yeah.
Because for a while, it should have been the Patriots because they were the ones that was winning every time.
Right. And they had the red, white, and blue.
Thank you. So now we sitting here trying to figure this all out, and it's like, bruh, what is going on? What is truly
Instead
going
of
on?
putting 2 and 2 together and getting 6.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing the last 30 years.
It has been a serious, serious issue. And
It
now
ain't
we get a
mathing.
chance. Math ain't mathing. What else is not mathing is the fact that some of these guys are getting their opportunities in the NFL, albeit we thought that they were going to go a little bit higher. One of those players was quarterback Quinn Ewers, who, by the way, is wearing number 14 for the Miami Dolphins right now.
Okay.
He got a chance to meet with the media as they had their rookie camps, and you could still hear the frustration with the fact that he was drafted pretty late.
Last couple weeks been like since you got drafted and now starting out minicamp?
Yeah, it's been good. Just like you said, getting ready for minicamp, and obviously I'm continuing on the journey of my career, and it's been exciting. It's been a dream come true for me. since I was a little kid. Since I picked up a football, I always wanted to play in the NFL, and it's not a better place to begin the journey.
An offense that's had a lot of success over the last few years, being able to learn and cultivate your skills with this group. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, they've been there, they've done that, they've succeeded at the highest level in our game, in our profession. So it's exciting. There's really no other words to describe it. It's just exciting, and to learn from all these veterans.
Gwen, what was this coaching staff's message to you as you started pretty abbreviated camp for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, just take advantage of every opportunity, because there's a lot of guys out there right now, and everyone's fighting for the same job, and we're all competitive, but it's cool at the same time, just because these guys are at the end of the day, some of these guys are going to end up being teammates with us, and but you gotta earn the job and earn the trust of those guys as well. So it's been cool.
When you come in with kind of a chip on your shoulder to kind of prove yourself, or what's kind of your mentality?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I didn't expect to fall as low as I did, but circumstances being, it is what it is at the end of the day, and I have the same opportunity as everybody else does, and I'm beyond thankful for that. And I just want to go in there and play my game at the end of the day, and learn and develop as a quarterback.
And you can still feel that. You can still feel that, I wasn't expected to drop as far as I did.
But I'm going to make the most out of this situation.
Exactly.
He basically said, don't slip and fall.
Because I'm going to get after you.
Because as soon as they reach down to pick you up, I'm already going to be standing next to the coach. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go in, coach.
And you know who it is, too. Because Tua will get injured at some point. Tua been living his best life this offseason, not looking like he has been working to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, but looking like he is ready to go and kick it somewhere.
I know all of these quarterbacks, they want access to the coordinators and head coach and all of the playbook and everything to start training.
Yeah.
Now I see why everybody loved Cam Ward. You see, Cam Ward is already there.
Yeah.
And is in the facility every day. He didn't need training camp to go to work.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, we got the rookie camp, and then, we'll do everybody the camp for all of the players. No, this dude is in and out, 6 o'clock in the morning, excited, working on the playbook. Yeah. I think that he's going to be successful because of his work ethic, not because of his intangibles.
Yeah, and I think Quinn Ewers is going to be somebody, too, that as he gets into camp and people start to see, the motivational factor, and you understand this, the chip on the shoulder type of situation kind of creates this mindset of I'm slaying everybody that's in my way.
Yeah.
And you can only do that if you're talented enough. Let's not forget, he was the #1 overall recruit in the nation coming out of high school.
And the #1 of Texas all time.
So you start to look at what this was all about, and those are one of the things that I continue to look at. But I also want you to hear from Kelvin Banks. We just talked about Derek Carr retiring, and he was going to be the blind side for Derek Carr, but he's also maybe forced to play multiple positions.
You were doing some different positions today, left tackle, guard, right tackle. What have they told you about your position?
I haven't said anything, but like I've always said my whole life, wherever I play, that's when I play it. I just want to be able to help the team.
I think you were asked after the draft. Have you played guard before?
No, I never. But like I said, I don't really care where I play it. I'm going to go learn it and go play football.
What are some of the differences just in your kind of short experience making that switch?
I just say the biggest thing is just the distance of contact, like where the contact point starts. Obviously, at guard, you're probably going to have contact point a little quicker than a tackle. But other than that, I feel like it's football at the end of the day. If you love football, it shouldn't matter what position you're playing. It shouldn't matter if you're out there only on special teams. It shouldn't matter if you're just a guard on field goal just blocking. If you want to be out there on the field, you love football, then it doesn't matter what spot they put you at.
That's what it's all about. A guy that
Come on, man.
understands the work ethic, and he is somebody that we've all
pulled for and will continue to pull for. We'll continue these conversations throughout the week as we get closer and closer to the NFL schedule being released. But coming up next, we've got the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, bringing you his world's strongest take right here on a Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Confirmation for a crash on I-35 southbound at Grand Avenue Parkway. This crash blocks off the 2 left lanes, and it's the reason speeds are stop and go starting from Highway 45, causing a 15-minute slowdown. There's also a crash blocking off the left lane westbound on Highway 290 at Mopac. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on family favorites when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get USDA Choice T-Bone or New York Steaks and fresh Atlantic salmon fillets for $7.77 per pound with digital coupon. And 24 packs of Dasani water for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
Graduation season is here and summertime's right behind it. Celebrate big with a new ride from Cover, Ford, and Hutto. Right now, $14,421 off of MSRP on a new 2024 Ford Expedition Limited. $12,346 off of MSRP on a new 2024 Ford Bronco Badlands. $10,138 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Ford F-150 Trimmer. See dealer for details. Folks choose Cover because they're family-owned, Texas proud, and trusted since 1909. CoverFordHutto.com.
When divorce puts your life's work on the line, Cordell & Cordell is ready to help you protect it. As a business owner, you've dedicated years building a legacy now at risk due to divorce. Let our experienced family law attorneys fight for you and that legacy. Cordell & Cordell is one of the nation's largest family law firms. Call to schedule your consultation today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
You want to see basketball played the way it's supposed to be? Well, check out Ice Cube's Big Three all summer long. Fast, physical, and fun. Catch the best professional 3-on-3 players in the world live every weekend on CBS and Vice.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary.
When I saw how high my property tax bill was, I was shocked. We couldn't afford this, but I discovered Ownwell. Ownwell reduced my property taxes and saved me over $1,000.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be protested and they can be reduced. But instead of filing protests yourself and very possibly losing your appeal, Ownwell does it all for you. But hurry, protest deadlines end this week. Ownwell has reduced property taxes for hundreds of thousands of Texans and put money back in their pocket, and you can be one of them. And unlike other companies that take half of whatever you save, Ownwell charges just 25%, and that's only if you save.
Now I don't worry about my property taxes. Ownwell reduces it every year.
Sign up now, free. Don't pay unless you save. But hurry, protest deadlines end this week. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000.
FFA students are learning how to use artificial intelligence on farms. Today, Microsoft and FFA announced the national expansion of Farm Beats for Students, a free educational program now available to nearly 200 FFA chapters in all 50 states. Microsoft's Vice President of Strategic Initiatives, Mary Snap, has more.
Farm Beats is a way for students to learn how to use data science and AI on modern farms. It's crucial to staying competitive in the global market.
Using Farm Beats kits, students build environmental sensor systems to monitor soil moisture, detect nutrient deficiencies, and react in real time. They can address challenges unique to their region, such as drought, frost, or pests, and use these lessons in their own careers in ag.
AI benefits every industry, including agriculture. It's so important for students to learn how automation, data science, and AI can improve decision-making, optimize how resources are used, and maximize crop yield.
Visit aka.ms/farmbeats50 to learn more.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Sunny skies for your Monday, a high of 93, some clouds tonight, a low of 65. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 103.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on family favorites when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get USDA choice T-bone or New York steaks and fresh Atlantic salmon fillets for $7.77 per pound with digital coupon, and 24 packs of Dasani water for $4.97 each with digital coupon.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
She's back. Khloe Kardashian returns to On Purpose with Jay Shetty, and she's getting real about healing and self-love. Plus, Caroline Levitt shares what it's like being the youngest White House press secretary in history on Post Run High. And Rob Lowe spills some of the funniest stories you'll hear with Chelsea Handler on the Dear Chelsea podcast.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
The Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
You heard that beat drop, and that could only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, brings you his world's strongest take. Take it away, big fella.
All right.
What's up, man? What time?
It's time for the world's strongest take by the world's strongest.
You heard that beat drop, and that could only mean one thing. WWE Hall of Famer and the
Guys, my take is something that I don't think is going to be a surprise to everybody. It's not going to be a surprise. Tyrese Halliburton came into this playoff and said, "Excuse me, guys, hold my beer." Because that is exactly what he's done. He said, "Hold this spot for me," and he has lit into this NBA playoffs like nobody has in years. Especially being that he was the guy that everybody said was what, Hardge?
Overrated.
Not to mention, I'm gonna give you some of his stats of who he is. How can you be overrated when you have this? During the summer, and they had the Olympic qualifiers and the Olympic workouts, there was a team that played against the guys that were the U.S. representatives. And you know who all those guys were. You know who the starting point guard for that unit was? Mr. Tyrese Halliburton. He had Cooper Flagg on his team, several other college stars, but he had a lot of the other second-tier guys in the NBA on that team to practice against the Olympic team. He was the first alternate. That means that if anyone would have gotten hurt at the guard position, he would have been the guy. That's pretty damn good. This guy was a 12th pick overall in the NBA draft. He's a two-time All-Star, NBA All-Star. He was an All-NBA first-team rookie. And I'm just going to put this out there. We got all these great players in the NBA today. Guess who led this season in assists? Tyrese Halliburton. How in the Sam Hill of beans can Tyrese Halliburton be overrated? All he's done is pick up the basketball and knock down every team they've played. He's bringing the best out of Miles Turner. Miles Turner's been a good NBA player, right? Am I stretching it? He's just been good, right?
He's been, he's a little better than good, but yeah.
This playoff, he's been great.
Yeah.
He is a bona fide number 2, 1-2 punch, shooting threes, being put in position to shoot threes because Tyrese Halliburton is drawing a double team like Irvin Johnson. Every time he slashes to the board, to the basket, there's just an open area just to his left side, which is where Miles Turner likes to stand and hit his shot. Guys, my take is that Tyrese Halliburton is not overrated. In fact, Tyrese Halliburton, with all of these older guards going down, Steph Curry about to be out of here. He's 36. Then you got right now, we got our guy in Cleveland. I don't think he's gonna play no more, boys.
Yep.
Like there's about 4 or 5 guards they're long in the tooth. I say Tyrese Halliburton is the next guard. I think next season on the Madden 2K, he will be above a 90. There's no way that in the video game he should be 88. Guys, Tyrese Halliburton is coming. And this NBA playoffs has proved that. My take, he's a dog. Hardge, what say you?
Yeah, he definitely is a dog. And as the young kids say, he is he's got that riz right now. He is doing everything he possibly can to make this work out for himself and his squad, as you mentioned. And we talked about earlier, you know, you go into Cleveland, regardless of the injury situation, everybody was playing yesterday until they weren't, right? You know what I'm saying? Tyrese Halliburton didn't have his best game, but he's having the best series because he is getting everybody else involved. And he's been that dude.
He allowed his team yesterday to score 17 consecutive points.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guards in the NBA doing that, just off the cuff. You have to be great.
Yeah, and he is making everyone around him great. And you start to look at how these series are going, and you know, they got a chance to be playing in the finals again, the Eastern Conference Finals again, just because of the talent that is amassed around him. You look at what Cleveland and this team, who was one of the best in the NBA, now they're begging. They're scrapping. They're trying to extend this series. And you and I talk about this a lot. When you got your foot on their throat, go ahead and put your foot on it and end it for them. And that's what I believe Indiana's
finish him.
Exactly. Mortal Kombat on them. I think that is exactly what is going on with this Pacers team. And Halliburton relates to people. He's a people guy.
Yeah.
And he does TikToks and he's doing all these other things that the kids love.
He's showing up to pro wrestling events.
Yeah, he's doing everything. So I'm with you. I like what I'm seeing for Halliburton. Just remember,
he said he wanted to have a match at WrestleMania.
And he is an Iowa State grad. Great take by the world's strongest man, as always. And I'm glad you highlighted Tyrese Halliburton. Coming up next, we'll close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick. But guess what, folks? We got a little bit more. Something that I didn't realize was happening. What? And as my man Marcus says, let the conspiracies begin. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
As the weather heats up, the action on the diamond gets even hotter. Here's the 0-1. Swung onto the ball, hit well, out toward right, and you can say goodnight to it. Tune into Longhorn Baseball all season long.
The stretch in the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Got him on the slider. And the Longhorns with back-to-back strikeouts.
From the road to the dish. This is Longhorn Baseball on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Confirmation for a crash on I-35 southbound at Grand Avenue Parkway. This crash blocks off the 2 left lanes, and it's the reason speeds are stop and go starting from Highway 45, causing a 15-minute slowdown. There's also a crash blocking off the left lane westbound on Highway 290 at Mopac. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
I want you to ask yourself right now, how am I actually doing? Because it's a question that we rarely ask ourselves. All of May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and on the Psychology of Your 20s, we are taking a vulnerable look at why mental health is so hard to talk about. Prepare for our conversations to go deep.
I spent the majority of my teenage years and my 20s just feeling absolutely terrified.
So this Mental Health Awareness Month, open the free iHeartRadio app, search the Psychology of Your 20s, and listen now.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CCB numbers are 212-018, 245-089, 204-061.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Hey, it's comedian Nikki Glazer. I can't wait for you to listen to my new show, The Nikki Glazer Podcast, from the Big Money Players Network and iHeartRadio, with my best friend and roommate, Andrew Collin.
Hey, it's me, Andrew.
He's hilarious, and no, we are not,
Cooking.
iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts. You can always find the Nikki Glazer Podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Oh, God.
Wake up with Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another great Longhorns Monday edition of the morning kickoff. As always, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, telling 5 friends to tell 5 friends. But most importantly, some of the things that are going on. I also want to make sure that we give a special shout out today. And Mark, go ahead and give your shout out.
Man, I want to give my shout out to Advantage Storage, as well as Mom Foods and Delicatessen, which I will be going this week. Yes, I will. If you want to meet me, I will let you know tomorrow what day and time that I will be at Mom Foods this week.
All right, there he is. Gonna go hang out with the
Come
big
hang out
fella.
with your boy.
Somebody else that has been hanging out is Jonathan Brooks, former Texas Longhorn. The news came out over the weekend that he will be done for the season. His injury to his knee is still not healing properly, so he will be done for the season. He also posted, God's got a plan for him. So you start to look at his career and what he was able to do. He's going to be on the physically unable to perform list, so they can make sure that he does everything he possibly can to make it back to the NFL. His story has been amazing. His journey has been one that a lot of kids can look up to and put themselves through. But you also got to make sure that you get your health right first so you can be around. So prayers up to Jonathan Brooks. Also, Texas rowing. That's right. Texas rowing wins the SEC title for the first time in the league, but it is their 10th consecutive title for rowing. That's unbelievable. 10 straight conference titles, and now they just won their first ever SEC championship with rowing. That's right, folks. Texas is doing it in every sport.
Everything.
Rowing is one of their next ones. Matter of fact, rowing is so good. My father-in-law bought a shirt the last time, so I'm sure he's going to get – Father's Day's coming up next, folks, so we got to make sure that you get my father-in-law a rowing championship shirt as they continue to roll. Also, I told you this. Some of the news that was coming out, we're trying to figure it all out. The NBA lottery will take place tonight. And Marcus believes that the conspiracy theories will happen as of right now. That will take place tonight, I believe, at 6:00, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, whoever gets the number.
What is this conspiracy theory? Where the doorbell ain't ringing or nothing? Just, I need to know. I try my best to keep my ear to the street, and I'm not hearing nothing.
There will always be conspiracy theories when it comes to the NBA lottery.
Yep, because the Spurs get it almost every year. At one point, the Cleveland Cavaliers was getting it every single time.
And Oklahoma City.
And as always, it's usually the worst team that's in a small market never gets it.
Exactly. Conspiracy may be true. It will happen tonight at 6:00. The lottery results will be announced on ESPN tonight at 6. So be tuned in for that. We also have NBA action again tonight as the Boston Celtics, we talked about them, are back at it. Lowest ticket, by the way, for Boston at New York, $507.
$507.
The game on Saturday, the highest ticket went for $110,000.
Get out of here.
To go and watch that right there. And then followed by Minnesota at Golden State. We don't know the condition of Steph Curry. Still seems to be out. That will tip off at 9:00. All games will be on ESPN tonight. And I look at this, and I always say this. When we got that chance to see what Anthony Edwards could be, he had a couple posterizing dunks. He had one dunk for sure and another one that he almost posterized somebody. My thing is this. Can he, and the conversation has been about the face of the league, face of the league, face of the league. Why does that even matter? Why does being the face of the league even matter? Because a lot of times people like who they like. It's not like they don't have access to everybody that they want to have access to.
And usually
now.
those people are shoved down your throat. It's like wrestling. Like
the baby face and the heel.
They want to make you like somebody.
Right.
When it's done organically and everybody just goes, man, that dude is cool.
Right.
I like it like that. But that's not what we get. That's what this whole face of the league thing has become to me.
Well, let me put it this way. back then when you needed a face of the league, you didn't have the access that you have now.
No,
I
you didn't.
I can go to Anthony Edwards' page anytime I want to go see what Anthony Edwards is doing. I could go to Steph Curry's page anytime you want to go see what they are doing.
You know, you can pay for the Ocular device and
That's what I'm
watch
saying.
every game that you want to watch. And it's like you sitting courtside.
I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, why does the league feel like it has we can see everything on our phones, our tablets, our computers. We have access to everything.
We can listen to the morning kickoff.
You have it all. So I'm not sure on how or why we feel like somebody has to be forced to be the face of the league. If it's overseas and they want to look at Luka, they're going to find Luka.
Yeah, put Luka or Joker on internationally or SGA.
They already are. And that is the thing that continues to bother me, because I was listening to somebody over the weekend and they were talking about the face of the league. And it's like, you just gave a great soliloquy on Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
I mean, you start to look at it, it's like, who do you want to be it? Donovan Mitchell.
Jalen Brunson is doing great.
Exactly. And Jalen Brunson is more
New York marketable.
But Jalen Brunson is more of a somebody that can be attained because he's like 6'1". He's not 6'10".
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he feels like he's more like a normal person as opposed to these big giants that are walking
Think about
around all the time.
all of the ads where you can have, so which one of these guys is the NBA basketball player?
Right.
And then you have Jalen Brunson turn around and smile.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, you can make whoever you want to be. It's just whatever the ad executives are going to have to really be on the hunt to find someone that could captivate the people. I actually think that the most personality out there is Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, he does. He does a lot on TikTok.
He wants to be the guy. He's lobbying for it.
And he's laughing a lot. You know, the smile is what everything is all about.
People
If
love
you got
him.
that smile, you got that. If you missed any part of the show, all you got to do is get over to AM 1300 The Zone on the always free iHeart Radio app. You can go to am1300thezone.com or follow us on our socials at AM 1300 The Zone, at the Mark Henry, and of course at Hardball Hardge. And until tomorrow, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We got a big week coming up. We got our guy Joe Cook of Inside Texas talking all things Texas. We'll also get some Cowboys reports this week and so much more. For Mark Henry, for Marcus, I'm Hardball Hardge. And just remember this: don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace. Everybody, it's Mike Hardball Hardge.
And this is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
And we're here to talk to you about MyPlates.com.
Tell them about it, Mike.
Mark, when you're on the road and looking at the vehicles, Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another great Longhorns Monday edition of the Morning Kickoff. As always, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, telling 5 friends to tell 5 friends. But most importantly, some of the things that are going on. I also want to make sure that we give a special shout out today. And Mark, go ahead and give your shout out.
Man,
today.
I want to.
Special shout out today, and Mark, go ahead and give your shout out.
Man,
today.
I want to give
a special shout out today, and Mark, go ahead and give a special shout out today, and Mark, go ahead and give your shout out.
Man,
today.
I want to give my shout out to.
Sure that we give a special shout out today, and Mark, go ahead and give your shout out. Make sure that we give a special shout out today, and Mark, also want to make sure that we give a special. Also want to make sure that we give a special shout out today. And Mark, go ahead and give your shout out.
Man,
today.
I want to give my shout out to Advantage Storage, as well as Mom Foods and Delicatessen, which I will be going this week. Yes, I will. If you want to meet me, I will let you know tomorrow what day and time that I will be at Mom Foods this week.
All right, there he is. Gonna go hang out with the
Come
big
hang out
fella.
with your boy.
Somebody else that has been hanging out is Jonathan Brooks, former Texas. Somebody else that has been hanging out